I straight up, like, that's so Raven, vision, psychic, could tell the future about that. Hi YouTube, it's Rosanna and welcome back to my channel. Before I jump into today's video, 3 things I want to disclaim. 1, I look like shit. 2, my hair looks like shit. And 3, I don't really care. It's one of those days. Now, I'm just gonna jump right into it. In my how we found out video with my boyfriend, I briefly mentioned that I was gonna do a video talking about all the reasons that I thought I was pregnant before we found out. And stop holding your breath, kids, because today's the day. This is that video. So the first reason I thought I was pregnant, I also briefly touched on in my how we found out video, was that anytime we were drinking, I was feeling really nauseous, and I mean after like 1, even the smell of alcohol was making me feel just odd. I wasn't getting your typical morning sickness, which I feel like that's a fucking myth that people even get that. I don't know anyone who found out they were pregnant because they were throwing up. So I was either feeling really off, like gonna throw up, or I was skipping being any sort of intoxicated and going straight into having a headache and feeling super tired and like almost like I had a hangover. I was like, hey, this isn't fair. I haven't had the fun part yet. I go straight from sober to hungover. That's some bullshit, man, and I'm not about it. I already had this niggle in the back of my mind, and this drinking nausea thing was really not helping ease my suspicions. Sort of in the same breath, because I was a smoker prior to finding out I was pregnant. Obviously I've since quit. The taste was suddenly really off-putting and unappealing, and when you're a smoker, you don't actually really get the taste unless you've had like a million in a day. And it was having the same sort of effect where it was making me feel just like super sluggish and headachy. I was really lucky during this pregnancy. All the bad things for you and for the baby were making me feel like shit, so I didn't even want to do them. I'm so glad I trusted my instinct over the stupid fucking tests that I took that came back negative. Boy, you was wrong. Now this one's really odd. It was such a weird thing to just have happen without having context as to why. And that was I became like spidey smell senses were fucking off the charts. My sense of smell was so crazy heightened. There's one particular thing that happened that I think even got David sort of like, okay, maybe we should, you know, let's start praying for your period kind of thing. So I worked in a restaurant and we just did like dinner and bar and like late night stuff. When I would go home, I would just take something in a takeaway container for dinner. Something that every dish came with, no matter what it was our like signature coleslaw. And I never ate it. I didn't like it personally. It was really popular, which was weird because who the fuck wants coleslaw? So I would always just end up getting left in the takeaway container after I'd finished, after I'd eaten and David had finished whatever else was in there. Our house was kind of a mess at this point. So this container had sat there for a day or 2, but it wasn't any older than that. And it was closed, it hadn't moved, and it was on the other side of the room to me. I got home from work and I got into bed and I kind of been like, I just smelled like rottenness. So I'm sniffing around and I cannot figure out what it is. I can't even figure out where the smell is coming from. So cut forward like an hour, David gets home from work and I'm like, hey, can you smell rotten food? And he's like, no. So now I'm super confused and I see the takeaway container, and before now it hasn't occurred to me because it's not even old. Okay, can you open that container, because he was standing right next to it. So I opened it and it's a coleslaw and he's standing right next to it and he's like, what? And as soon as he opens it, I'm like, it just hits me in the face. I'm like, oh my god, that smells like death in a box. Please throw it out. He got rid of it and he's also really confused, being like, what's going on? Like, why are you having a personal vendetta against this coleslaw? So I explained what's been going on. Like, I've just been sitting there smelling rotting food since I got home. And he's like, okay, well, I didn't smell anything. And I was like, well, it's gone now, so it had to be the box. And I think that was maybe the first time he was kind of like, I think he prayed for a period that night. So this one's not as crazy, you've probably heard about this too, but I was sleeping like hours upon hours upon hours. I was sleeping like 12 hours and then only being awake for like an hour and being super exhausted again, having to have another nap. And David was kind of like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, why are you sleeping? I was genuinely concerned for like my life. I thought I was dying. I thought I was gonna have to like go to hospital and they're gonna do a blood test and I was gonna come back and they're gonna be like, oh, you have this weird, rare genetic disorder and you've got like 2 days to live. This is what I'm trying to say, that I wasn't just like getting home and going to sleep way earlier than I usually was. I was like passing out. I was like getting home, not even getting my work uniform off, just collapsing on the bed. And next thing I know, it's just him coming in and like waking me up and being like, hey, are you alright? And I'm like, oh my, what the I don't even know I was asleep. You feel like staying awake is physically like killing brain cells. It was that sort of tired all the time. I can take a lot in terms of like emotional stuff. I can take a lot on and process it and deal with it. Maybe not in the healthiest ways, but like I'll get there. It was about 2 or 3 weeks where the tiniest stuff was setting me off. I was just way more sensitive to small things going on around me. And do not even get me started on like emotional videos on Facebook, because that shit had me fucked up. So on top of all this other weird stuff going on, my period was also 2 weeks late. I know for a lot of you that could have been just a video like my period was 2 weeks late, I thought I was pregnant in the end, but that wasn't actually overly that odd because of just I'd been having a lot of weird problems going on with that, and like the birth control I was on, just everything was a little odd. There was a lot of confusion surrounding that, but I was 2 weeks late and I was pregnant, so my boobs were sore as fuck. I'm sorry, there is no other way I can put it. They were tender. I was like, I'm not gonna list adjectives. Getting home from work and taking my bra off was so uncomfortable because it was like, ugh. It was like removing a band-aid and just, they have not been that sore since like the first, I would say, 8 weeks of being pregnant was the worst. Oh my god. And the last reason I thought I was pregnant, which might not seem like such a big deal, but it was just, you know, I trust my gut a lot when it comes to things. I guess in this case, my womb. But I was having odd anxiety. And you have to understand, this was not the first time I thought I was pregnant. I'm a sexually active female, okay? It just comes with the territory. But I had never experienced this sense of like panic before in my life. So, really gassy. Those are all the reasons that I thought I was pregnant. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure to thumbs up, and I am now the bitch who does a thumbs up when talking about it. Okay, cool, let's roll with it. And subscribe. There will be some really exciting ones coming up soon because I'm now in my 3rd trimester. I am having my baby shower in a few weeks. We're starting to get shit done in the nursery, so there'll be a nursery tour, and just like those exciting, oh my god, he's almost here videos will start coming out soon. So please subscribe if you want to see that. And go watch last week's video if you haven't, just to keep you updated on how my pregnancy is going. Anyways, see you next time. Bye.